Right now at 6, dangerous heat disrupts the first day of school.
I am kind of happy because it was really hot in our classroom.
Then caught off guard and shorthanded.
That we hear that you want us to address this.
When it comes to street racing, why Portland police says they couldn't keep up.
Plus, a diver uncovers clues that could help solve a family mystery, decades in the making.
I know it's real and it's been real, but it hasn't been this real.
And the Portland Fire make another big hire, the new GM who will carry the Rose City's WNBA team into the future.
But we begin here at 6 with breaking news out of Longview, where a large industrial fire is burning right now. You can see the huge plume of black smoke. Fire officials say it sparked just before 4 o'clock inside a Columbia and Cowlitz Railway building on the Nippon Dynawave Packaging Company property. That's not far from the Lewis and Clark Bridge.
Incredible pictures there. You got to hope everyone got out okay. So far, crews tell us they are taking what's called a defensive approach, hitting the flames from the outside because you can see the heavy flames inside. Multiple agencies have responded. At this point, there is no word on any injuries. We have a crew arriving at the fire now. Of course, we'll bring you an update as soon as we can. Well, now to a KGW weather impact alert and new details following days of extreme heat.
Today, we learned of a second suspected heat-related death, this time in Clackamas County. Officials say a 55-year-old woman died yesterday during the heat wave. On Saturday, a 56-year-old man died in Multnomah County. He was found in or near the Pearl District. It could take weeks or months before medical examiners confirm whether the heat caused the deaths.
Well, with the worst of the heat wave now behind us, though, we are looking forward to slightly cooler days. Right now, you're looking at about 88 degrees in the Rose City.
Chief Meteorologist Matt Sfino now here with that update. Matt.
Hey, Christine. Yeah, I mean, it's cooled off a lot. And you know what? The fact that we did not hit 90 degrees today means that our stretch of 90-degree days, of course, 2 of those were 100 or better, remains at 3, which is the longest of the year so far. We're down to 87 right now, and it's not because we're getting a push of that cooler air from the ocean. We, in fact, have an east wind out of the Portland airport right now. Nope, it's because of cloud cover. Now, humidity has been talked about as well, and we're not that humid. Our dew point temperature is at 60. That's right on the border between comfy and muggy. I don't think it'll get any more humid too, so it adds to a little bit of discomfort, but mainly it has been the hot weather. We'll keep the weather impact alert going through this evening, mainly because it's going to be another warm night, uncomfortably warm for many, especially if you don't have AC. So that's what you need to think about, of course, is how you're going to stay cool during the nighttime hours. Our high today was 88 degrees, down from yesterday's 95. Scappoose made 90, Hillsborough 91, but only 88 in McMinnville, Hood River 90, and even out in the Dalles, it was 91. They were in triple digits the last couple days there, so nice cooling there. Central Oregon in the 70s. Now, we've got one alert left over. It's the air quality alert from DEQ. Expires at 10 o'clock tonight. That's for ozone pollution. Our air quality generally in the moderate to good category, so it's not too bad. There's still a fire weather warning out, though, for much of central and southern Oregon, including down by the Flat Fire, which is the biggest one burning in Oregon right now. But we may have gotten some rain out. There are showers in that neck of the woods. We even had a few lightning strikes south of Sandy earlier in the day. You see a couple strikes pop up here, then they dissipated. There they go, as that shower and thunderstorm quickly wound on down. So another very warm night tonight. Mountain showers and thunderstorms again tomorrow, very much like today. And a few showers are possible as we begin the Labor Day weekend. Don't change your plans just yet. More on all of this later, guys.
Appreciate it, Matt. Good to know we're almost on the other side here.
And let's bring in our Celine Stevens in Estacada now, where the district decided to send students home early today because of the heat. Celine, how are families feeling?
Christine, well, I'll tell you, most of the students I spoke with today were happy about getting out of school a few hours early, but the parents weren't as thrilled about the early release. Still, everyone I spoke with understood the risk that the high heat could pose to students, especially given that the classrooms and buses in the Estacada School District do not have air conditioning.
It's a good idea. Yeah, I think they have to err on the safety of the kids.
The first day of school came with early release for students in the Estacada School District.
We have a pretty thorough heat index and chart where we look at the temperature and the humidity and determine from there what's safest for kids.
While some were supportive of the decision,
it actually doesn't feel that hot today, but you always have to make some judgment calls.
Others were less than enthusiastic.
There's nothing really going on, so it was a little disappointed about changing my work schedule, but it's okay.
Well, it's a little crazy first off since it's only the first day of school, but it really doesn't seem like it's that hot out.
Elementary and middle school students released around 12:30 Monday afternoon with athletic practices required to wrap up by 4. According to the district, the schools and buses lack air conditioning.
We have older facilities and we haven't had a school bond passed in quite some time, so we just don't have the funding at this time to invest in air conditioning. We've gotten quotes for upward of $7 million to have our buildings air conditioned.
Other school districts like Portland Public Schools say they have not made a decision yet regarding early release for their first day of school Tuesday, and instead are working to mitigate high heat by using portable fans, keeping ventilation running overnight, opening windows in the morning, and more. Vancouver Public Schools also planning to move students to cooler areas if it gets excessively hot, and Beaverton School District advising kids to dress for the heat and stating they will consider moving recess indoors. Early dismissal would be a last resort. But for the kids in Estacada, getting out early left most happy.
Why are you so happy about getting out of school?
Because I can be with my kitties. Because I'm going home. I was excited for 3rd grade and I love school. And I am kind of happy because it was really hot in our classroom.
Now, according to the Estacada School District, there will also be early release tomorrow on Tuesday due to the forecast. Staff is also being released at 4 p.m. Back to you.
Yeah, appreciate you checking in with some of the other school districts, but glad those kids are at least happy. Thank you, Celine. We'll continue following the heat and extreme weather as long as it lasts. You can find updates anytime online at KGW.com and on our free TV streaming app, that is KGW+.
Well, speaking of back to school, in an update, Evergreen School District staff say a strike plan for tomorrow will now go ahead.
Last week, paraeducators, bus drivers, and others voted to strike after their union and the district could not reach a deal on a new contract. The district decided to postpone the first day of school by a week to give them more time to negotiate with the union. The district says a mediation session scheduled for today is still underway, with several others planned for this week. Workers will begin picketing tomorrow morning at 8:30.
Developing this evening, fallout from that. Several street takeovers across the Rose City over the weekend, with drivers doing dangerous stunts, putting themselves and others at risk. It turns out Portland police knew ahead of time and they had a plan to stop them.
But authorities say limited intel and a shortage of officers meant enforcement ended early. Devin Haskins is live outside the Lloyd Center. Devin, what else did police tell you?
Well, police really are saying that their Saturday mission to curb these street racing and intersection takeovers was largely effective. They ended it at midnight after about 10 hours, but it was right after that these drivers and participants took over several other intersections, including the Lloyd Center intersection right here behind me. Another one of those was North Fessenden and in Columbia, where witnesses say more than 100 people watched as cars did donuts and burnouts. Then a couple hours later, a large group gathered outside the mall late Saturday night into Sunday morning. Now, earlier in the day on Saturday, Portland police said they had known about these events and said that they were able to stop a couple from happening. They say they towed 6 cars and arrested 2 people throughout the night, but police also say they thought the street racing was done by about midnight and didn't have enough officers on shift to respond because of another call when the intersection outside the Lloyd Center and others were taken over.
At a little under $1,000 an hour, with no more information that it was going to continue, and I kind of list what we went through to determine if we thought it was going to continue, that was the most prudent thing to do.
Now, police also said that they were out here again on Sunday, stopping a couple other street racing events. All told, they said they arrested 4, towed 10 vehicles, and seized 2 illegal guns. Back to you.
Devin Haskins reporting live for us from the Lloyd Center. Thank you, Devin.
In your headlines, authorities in central Washington say they still have no evidence as to whether Travis Decker is alive. He is the man accused of killing his 3 young daughters at a campground near Leavenworth. Today, the FBI and the Chelan County Sheriff announcing they are closing that campground to focus their search close to where the girls' bodies were found.
Looking into similar cases, we found that historically and typically the youth found the homicide suspect and those responsible within a quarter mile of the scene, either alive and or deceased.
Authorities say they plan to reopen that campground tomorrow evening unless their investigation there needs more time.
In the Dalles, human remains found in a storage unit last month have been identified as 20-year-old He Mehong, known as Kiki. Someone who bought the unit found the remains last month at a storage facility on West 6th Street. Today, investigators also identified a person of interest, 59-year-old Richard Michael Robinson, who's from the Dalles. He was arrested yesterday in Colorado on an unrelated warrant and is awaiting extradition to Oregon.
And Governor Tina Kotek has signed a slate of bipartisan bills aimed at lowering energy costs for Oregonians. The 4 new laws require large users like data centers to pay their share on the grid. They limit how often utilities can raise their rates, and they double funding to help low-income households pay their bills. Okay, let's talk about the Portland Fire now, because the city's new WNBA team now has a new leader to head up all basketball operations.
Yeah, Art Edwards joins us now with more on the general manager. Art, I hear that she comes from another WNBA team.
She does, and she has a lot of experience in basketball as well. Vanya Chernivich has a lot of experience, as we've said. She has worked with teams both in Europe and the United States, and she joins the Fire from the Golden State Valkyries, where she has been the VP of basketball operations. Now, the team announced her hiring with a social media post earlier today. She's going to oversee all the basketball operations for the expansion franchise. That will include hiring a coach, front office staff, and also building a roster. In a release from the Fire today, Chernivich said, "I'm honored to join the Fire with a vision to build the most innovative and groundbreaking team in women's basketball." She went through this process with the Valkyries, building a team, and that helped the expansion franchise. The Valkyries are in the race for a playoff spot in their first year in existence. She also serves as the general manager of the London Lions of the Super League basketball in Europe. The native of Slovenia will start work with the Fire on September the 15th. We get the chance to meet her tomorrow in person.
Looking forward to that, Art. Appreciate it. We'll see you in a few minutes.